Be me, Nate, 23. Living in a one-bedroom with a broken dryer and too many IKEA pillows. Work at a startup that pivoted 3 times and now sells subscription boxes for succulents. Ex is Emma, 22, soft chaos, used to steal my hoodie and my fries. She cheated on me last year with Caleb, 23, who wears dad jeans ironically and loves live music. We broke up after a horrible April and I swear I was gonna be okay. Fast forward 2.5 months of trying to be okay. Delete her from my socials. Unmatch everyone on Hinge for a week to cry and regroup. Start going to the gym and not finishing workouts but looking like I tried. Go out with friends, laugh loudly, drink too much. Flirt badly with a barista named Lexi. Friends say, "You're back, man." And I nod like maybe I am. Today I'm peeled out on a Tuesday scrolling Instagram in bed. Matt, my old roommate, tags me in a story like, "Yo Nate, seen this?" It's Emma's face in a post with Caleb at some dive bar. Both smiling like idiots. Caption: New beginnings. Smiley face. Reaction: stomach drops, immediate nausea. Control 0. I thought I would be calm. I thought I had been doing the emotional work. But one picture and my 2.5 months of progress evaporate faster than grocery store sanitizer in 2020. It feels like being replaced with one frame of pixels. I stare at it until my phone turns blue with screen time warnings. My chest feels like an overpacked suitcase. What is this happening again? Call Matt. Did you see? He asks, sorry in voice. Yeah. I say, voice steady like a badly tuned radio. He starts telling me the backstory he heard from someone who knows someone. Apparently they've been hanging out since summer gigs and now they're official. No drama, just a relationship announcement like it's a band dropping a new single. I hang up and do what everyone does now. Panic stalk my ex's profile. Photos with Caleb at concerts, subway selfies, a video of them laughing at a taco stand. Every tag feels like a small scalpel. I try to breathe, it doesn't help. Text Emma because it's Wednesday and I am dramatic. Typing bubble and then delete and then write a paragraph like an essay I never took. Hey, heard the news. Hope you're okay. Send. No typing back for a while, which is fine and also burning my brain like acid. She replies, hey Nate, yeah, we're okay. Thanks. Short, normal, like I'm a person who used to exist in a different era. My chest flips like a bad phone network. I go out with friends that night to a rooftop bar called The Loft, because it's the place you go when you're trying to be seen not sad. Ava and Mark are there. Both carry the energy of people who actually sleep sometimes. I try to be funny, make jokes about my old relationship as if it's a closed chapter. Laughter patched over the hole like duct tape on a broken pipe. During a lull, Mark leans in. Did you really forgive her? He asks. I say yeah, vaguely, like you say you forgave a teacher who gave you a bad grade and you meant it but still resent math. Forgive is a weird word when someone spreads their hands with someone else. On the way home, I walk past the taco place from Emma's story. Caleb and Emma are there, actually there, looking not like a picture but like a real step in the world I am not in anymore. They wave at a friend who waves back. The universe moves. I feel hollowed out. The next day I go to the gym, do 8 push-ups and then mentally write a breakup playlist. Try to eat a salad but then buy fries because morning must have oil. Download Tumblr and then immediately close it because who even uses Tumblr anymore? Friends tell me it's normal to feel replaced. You're allowed to be hurt, Ava says like a warm bandage. But this is different. I didn't just get cheated on. I forgave her. I gave permission in my head for her to be free and then she made freedom mean someone else. That stings in a new way. I start thinking in dumb narrative ways, like a movie where the protagonist learns and grows. But the script writer left the set and gave the role to someone else mid-montage. I am ungrateful for metaphors but I steal them anyway. Decide to be productive about feelings because that feels adult. Sign up for a pottery class at 7 p.m. on Thursdays because my friend Rachel said it helps with phase transitions. First class is messy and I make a mug with a dent in it but Rachel claps and calls it character, and I smile back because humans are good sometimes. One night at the class, I see a girl with a freckle over her eyebrow drop her clay and curse, and it makes me laugh because it's small and human and not related to Emma. Her name is Zoe. She likes thrift shopping and bad sci-fi movies. We trade numbers after the class like two mildly damaged people swapping business cards. We text like normal new people. You free to hike Saturday? I say yes because I want to feel my lungs expand for reasons unrelated to betrayal. On the hike I realize my brain is both present and absent, cataloging birds and also memorizing nothing about Emma except that she exists with Caleb as a noun now. 2 weeks later I'm on a date with Zoe at a coffee place that plays vinyl. She tells a story about her ex leaving town and taking a plant and I laugh too hard. In the middle of the night I text Emma because some companies do midnight inventory of heartbreak and I'm impulsive. Text. Congrats. Genuinely. Be happy. She texts back. Thanks. Hope you're doing okay. That should be the end of it, but then a rumor slips in like water under a door. Someone at work says Emma and Caleb are traveling together for the weekend to a beach town. My brain flips through jealousy categories like I'm choosing furniture. Am I mad? Hurt? Embarrassed? Replaced? All of the above? Yes. I decide to check my old hoodie drawer because humans love anchors and maybe a smell will fix something. Hoodie smells like me, still, and that gives me 2 minutes of comfort before the sting returns. I start seeing their faces everywhere like graffiti that won't wash off. On posters for bands I used to like. On strangers on the subway who have the same cheekbones as Caleb. Most dumb is how I imagine Caleb's hands and gestures he probably never made and feel small about it. I go to a bar with friends again and get sloppy enough to text Emma a longer thing. How did you move on so fast? Were we just temporary? She replies, slower than before. Nate, it was complicated. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry. I stare at the message like it's a passing comet and feels impossible to catch. Apologies are small boats in an ocean of what happened. 3 days later Emma texts a picture of a latte shaped like a heart and says, miss you, to someone else in a group thread and I lose it for exactly 3 minutes in the office bathroom like I am an onion and it is time to cry. Ask myself. Am I being childish? Yes. Am I allowed? Also yes. I try therapy because the internet said it helps even if your insurance hates you. My therapist, Jamie, is 29 and has a mug that says, feelings are friends. And she asks the same question in different ways until I say something that sounds like a truth. I forgave her because I loved her. Learning she's with the other guy makes it feel like forgiveness was a hole I crawled into for no reason. Jamie nods with the patience of a saint and says, forgiveness is for you, not them. But emotional reactions don't check your spreadsheet. That is both soothing and infuriating and true, and I scribble it down like a talisman. Time stitches some stuff. I go on more dates that are mediocre, and then one night I meet Harper at a rooftop punk show and we talk about our favorite sad songs and she kisses me under a string of lights, and for a night I am not thinking about Emma at all. Progress or pause? Hard to know. 2 months after the initial breakup I get a DM on Instagram from someone named Rachel, who says she knows Emma from freshman year. I expect gossip, but the DM reads like, hey Nate. Thought you should know Emma and Caleb are actually living together now. My heart laps like we're racing a dog on TV. Living together is a strange word. It's like the last chapter you don't want read aloud but someone just did. I feel replaced in a more permanent sounding way now. This is not a casual coffee date. This is a move-in and buying blender level of replacement. I text Emma. Short. Is that true? She says yes. Says it happened quickly. Says they're figuring stuff out. Says she's sorry I found out like that. The apology is small and also real, and I can't hold both things at once, so I hold the whole instead. I think about reaching out to Caleb like a psycho detective but stop because boundaries are being built in my therapy sessions like little slow fences. Instead I call my dad because families are useful for bad decisions, and dad says, people make choices. You're allowed to be sad. Also mow the lawn tomorrow. Dads are single-sentence therapists and somehow that helps too. Weeks drift. I make a rookie mistake and check Emma's ex's recent tagged photos because humans like the exact reference that makes them fall down emotionally. There they are, a new apartment plant in the background. Text from Zoe. You look tired. Want to grab dinner? I say yes because food is a manual transmission for emotion. We go to this taco place and I laugh. I mean it sometimes. I mean it when I order extra salsa. I feel alive and hollow at the same time. The duality is exhausting but also human. Then plot twist that makes the story interesting. Emma slides into my DMs, nervous typing bubble, and says, "Can we talk in person? It's important." I almost don't go, but curiosity and the part of me that never stopped caring wins. We meet at the park bench where we used to split fries and judge passersby. She's wearing my old hoodie ironically, and it ruins me because it smells like our shared history. She looks nervous and small in a way that used to make me melt, and now it only makes me think, why? She starts with apologies and talks about how living together happened fast and how Caleb has been validating in ways she didn't expect. She says, "I thought forgiveness meant you were free to live. I didn't mean to make you feel replaced. I want to throw my phone in the pond and watch it sink like an offering." She asks if I can ever be friends. I laugh, a brittle sound, because friendships after cheating feel like mutual bankruptcy agreements. But I answer honestly, I don't know. I've been trying. Learning how to take space is new. She reaches to touch my hand and I flinch, which gets awkward because we used to hold hands like a default setting. We talk for an hour about logistics, guilt, and the ways two people can change despite a shared history. She tells me a detail. She told Caleb that we had tried to work on things, and that she felt guilty for how it ended. Caleb said he wanted stability and offered to move in, and that's how the apartment happened. He's not the villain in her telling. He's a person who offered her a thing she wanted in that complicated moment. I feel like there are two tragedies here: the relationship and the way humans sometimes seek shelter in others. I say that out loud and it sounds like a fortune cookie of grief. We end the talk and hug in a way that is weirdly platonic and then not. I walk away with the knowledge that yes, they're together, and yes, it stings like a brand, and no, my forgiveness did not erase their choice. I go home and eat cereal for dinner because my pride is too tender to cook and friends are too far to text without sounding needy. Days later, I learn from a mutual friend that they're all posting couples photos and planning a weekend getaway to a beach town none of us can afford, but that's not the point. The point is that they're making a life shape that does not include me, and that randomness hurts more than I expected. I start doing stupid things for the dopamine. Buy expensive sneakers I don't need. Match on Hinge and then unmatched instantly because dates feel like interviews. Sign up for a ceramics residency in upstate for a weekend because solitude feels like a plan. I do these not to impress anyone but to move my internal timeline forward like it's a project with due dates. Humor returns sometimes. At a bonfire, I make a joke about being replaced by someone with a better facial hair game, and friends laugh, and the sound comforts me like a throw blanket. I date someone from the pottery class briefly. It fizzles because my head is a procedural maze and not enough for two people at once. Months later, season flips and leaves fall like confetti, and Emma and Caleb post a video doing a cooking challenge together. Comments are full of heart emojis and "adore you," and my thumb hovers over the screen like a reluctant judge. I feel replaceable and also angry and also petty and also sick of myself for feeling petty. One night I go to a bar alone because solitude is a drug, and the bartender is empathetic and gives me a free pretzel for being interesting. A guy next to me, Brandon, starts talking about how his ex left him for someone she met at a yoga retreat, and I chime in and say, "Welcome to hell," and we laugh and order another beer. Small human connection is a needle of relief. The real turning point. Emma texts in December, out of the blue. "Nate, we need to talk. I miss being honest with you." Honesty is a theme of our story, like a chorus you can't skip. This is the Reconcile Temptation arc, the part where the narrators across platforms decide if they want to be heroes again. We meet in January at a shitty diner that still sells milkshakes with those little paper umbrellas. She looks different, calmer, like someone who learned how to fold guilt into a smaller shape. She apologizes again and says, "I'm sorry I chose comfort. I thought that was what I wanted, but it's messy." I ask the smart question I've practiced with my therapist. "Do you want to be with him, or are you with him because it's easier right now?" She cries and says, "I don't know." Her uncertainty is its own wound. I realize being forgiven is not a round-trip ticket back to trust. It's a complex negotiation where both parties must decide to rebuild with bricks or move on with suitcases. I could take her back. I could ride the nostalgia wave and hope for change and adopt a shared dog, and maybe that would work. Instead, I decide to be honest with myself and tell her, I can't be a plan B. If you need time to figure yourself out right now, that's okay, but I can't be in the middle of it. She nods, understands, and the sadness seats like a new roommate. We hug, this time like people who have practiced goodbye without drama. I walk out lighter and heavier at once. Life after that is a weird montage of good and bad edits. I get back into pottery, my mug now intentional not emotional. I go hiking, sweat out the remaining spite like a cheap colon cleanse. I date in small increments, learn what my deal breakers are and aren't. I stop stalking their stories daily and move to weekly because evolution is small steps. Months later I get a text from Emma, calm and clinical. "We're engaged." My first reaction, blankness, then a small ugly laugh like a hiccup. I feel replaced again but also weirdly content because she's making a choice and not waiting in a doorway for my permission. I go to a friend's wedding the next weekend and watch two people promise themselves and feel things I've been denying. I dance too hard and sweat, and for a moment, I forget Emma's name and Caleb's teeth and the way new beginnings smell like a different perfume. Still, every milestone they hit is a tiny pinch. Their engagement announcement is the sting of confetti in my eyes. I post a neutral comment because humans are polite and the world goes on. One rainy night I open my old hoodie drawer and find a receipt from a pizza place with her handwriting from 3 years ago. I cry for 1 minute and then laugh until my chest loosens because crying and laughing live next door in my apartment now. Time doesn't heal neatly, it accrues layers like sediment. Some days I wake up and the image of her with someone else isn't the first frame in my head and I revel in the small victory. Other days the image is a flash and I drop something in the kitchen and swear and feel childish and human and flawed. Eventually I get to a place where I can scroll past their posts with a neutral thumb and not a volcanic reaction. I still rewind their old stories sometimes and feel a little hollow but not catastrophic. I learned to be in the world without her by my side, and that is both terrifying and freeing. Last scene. It's late summer and I'm on a rooftop with friends. A cheap beer, string lights that hum like distant hope. Someone plays a song we used to listen to and I feel the old ache pull like tide. Then Zoe, who stuck around longer than a fling, squeezes my hand and asks if I want another beer. I say yes, stand up, and for the first time in a long while don't think about being replaced like it's an identity. I think about being human, messy, alive, and allowed to feel hurt and also allowed to be okay sometimes. End is not tidy. Emma's wedding comes and goes like a holiday on someone else's calendar. I watch it from a distance and I feel small, then smaller, then oddly relieved that life keeps doing things that don't involve me. Forgiveness was a complicated, useful experiment that didn't protect me from being replaced, but it taught me how to stop being owned by the past. Final line, because endings are demands, not gifts. I still get flashes sometimes. I still feel like I was replaced in a snapshot, and that hurts. But now I'm building a life where being replaceable is not the measure of my worth. I'm messy, healing, sometimes petty, sometimes brave, and mostly just trying to not text her at 2 a.m. And that, for now, is enough.